said on the bubble a game ago against Louisville, see if they can pick it up and pick up some wins as they close out the ACC conference play.
Demon Deacons win the tap, and we are underway. Wake Forest drilled 10 threes in 22 attempts in that victory over Pittsburgh. And in 40 minutes, that burden of a losing streak gets traded for that instant invigoration of a win. Trying for a lob, batted away by Sydney Johnson over the end line. Stays with Wake, 5 to shoot. Sydney Johnson, one of those seniors honored before the game for Georgia Tech.
Now, Sydney Johnson has been a key piece, especially since she was admitted into the starting lineup a few weeks ago. So she's been key to try and open it up for Kara Dunn and Tonie Morgan.
And Harrison loses track of time. Shot clock violation on Wake's opening possession. So a frustrated start to this one for Megan Jebbia, coming off a 17-win season a year ago, most ever by a first-year Wake Forest head coach. That win on Thursday snapped a 17-game road losing streak for the Demon Deacons, dating back to December of 2022. Tough finish, doesn't fall for Dunn, but she'll draw 2 free throws.
And that's good for the Jackets, getting Dunn involved in this game early, something that didn't happen against Louisville Thursday night. She progressed in the second half to score some buckets, but she's a key scorer for this Georgia Tech team, and they need to get her going early.
And Kara Dunn, the sophomore, will certainly be in contention for ACC Most Improved Player. Logged all 40 minutes against the Cardinals. 17 points, 9 rebounds. Her last 3 games, Fallon, 24, 8 rebounds, 59% from the field.
No, she has been incredible this season with her scoring. It's been consistent. I think that's the biggest thing that you see from her transitioning from her freshman season to her sophomore season. It's just consistency.
Cashes out both free throws. And oh, by the way, Kara Dunn has now made her last 20 free throws. As we take a look at the Wake Forest starting 5, Harrison tied a season high with 14 points in that win over the Panthers. In deep to Coles, ripped away from behind by Noedo. Clever defense by the sophomore from Spain, Inés Noedo. That is typically in Wake Forest wheelhouse. They've been forcing better than 18 turnovers a game over their last 5 outings. Dunn trying to attack on Conley. Whistle and a travel call. There is a turnover forced on the Yellow Jackets as we take a look at the Yellow Jackets starting 5.
And they've been consistent with this starting 5 for some time now because they wanted to see how it works. You know, moving Kara Dunn to the 4th spot alongside Kayla Blackshear. So see how it works out this afternoon against Wake Forest.
Sydney Johnson making her 7th consecutive start. That streak began at Wake Forest. The step back Williams rims out, and Morgan glides in for the rebound. Elise Williams, Wake Forest leader in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. Do-it-all junior from Raleigh.
She can. In the last outing, had 23 points and 10 rebounds against Georgia Tech. So she can rebound the ball just as well as you see Tonie Morgan do it as a guard.
Coles rebounds that one for Wake Forest. Williams, 23 points, 11 rebounds, one of her 3 career double-doubles against Georgia Tech earlier this month. Wake Forest was led in that Pittsburgh win by Katie Diebel, the redshirt freshman from Australia. A career-high 20 points, 5 of 5 from 3, but they get the short-range bucket from Coles to tie us up.
Yeah, they shot the ball extremely well from behind the arc against Pitt, and they hit 10 threes in that game. 5 players hit at least 1 3, so they were shooting the ball well. I'm sure Coach Jebbia hopes to see that continue this afternoon against Georgia Tech.
That confidence was contagious. That 3 is heavy from Johnson, tracked down by Dunn. Quick entry, Blackshear tipped away, foul called though, as they'll take Harrison for her 2nd.
And that's not good. You see this pass. Nice entry pass inside and a nice finish at the basket by Coles. And you see this right here with the foul. Yeah, you can't do that. Harrison tries to come in and dig and help, but hits Blackshear on that arm hand.
That is actually Harrison's first. They whistled Coles for the first foul. Johnson slipping it to Dunn, kicking to Morgan. And Morgan misfires on the 3. Tonie Morgan playing with increasing confidence in her outside shot of late. Can't cash in there. Tough offensive start for both teams. Williams off the mark. Guerrero saving it beneath the basket. Cardinals sin, and it deflects off a Dunn. Wake Forest retains.
Yeah, well, at least it was Kara Dunn right there that hits her knees. Unfortunate, Georgia Tech couldn't control the basketball, but good hustle by Naredo.
First Georgia Tech sub, Rusna Augustinaita, reigning ACC Rookie of the Week. Freshman from Lithuania. So put 30 on the shot clock. Fresh possession for Wake Forest. Harrison drives and pitches. Williams, good for three.
I don't think she could believe how wide open she was and was about to rotate the basketball and decided to shoot it. And good thing she did, because she knocked that one down.
When your opponent cashes out 10 threes the previous game, you better respect it. Wake has the 5-2 lead. Dribble drive, Dunn splits two defenders and banks it in. How did she find the crease?
I don't know, but that was a tough shot by Dunn. A good job to, avoid the contact and the charge, and shifted and able to knock that basket down.
She has all four of the Yellow Jackets' points. On the dive cut, Conley wheeling and scoring. Speaking of good footwork in traffic, how about Reagan Conley, the junior?
That was a good shot, and to maneuver between that traffic and finish at the rim, that's a good showing for the Demon Deacons early in this one.
And off the back cut, Dunn connects.
Yeah, Dunn is hot, and I said that was really important. Georgia Tech needs to get started early within their offense and scoring. Don't try and settle and see what they can get in their half-court sets, but right now it's working with Kara Dunn in the half-court.
To give her all 6 of Tech's baskets. Comes airborne, Scruggs barreling her way through. Alexandra Scruggs, most career games played in Wake Forest history. She knows all the tricks.
She does, and that was just an aggressive move, big-time finish.
That's just bulldozing your way through. 9-6 Wake Forest. Augustinaita behind the screen, had a hand in her face, off the mark on the three. Wake Forest looks to run. Morgan, quick hand, slows up Harrison. Perky start once again for Wake Forest. It was led by 11 at the half versus Pittsburgh. Never seriously threatened in the second half. Conley spinning into the double team. Nearly poked away by Noeto. She's double teamed and now travels. Noeto and Augustinaita closing down and forcing the turnover as we hit our first timeout just underway in the home finale for Georgia Tech. Wake Forest, the early 9-6 lead.
Greatness is
Opening minutes carrying over that confidence from that victory on Thursday.
Yeah, well, they're just starting the game out aggressively, and that's what you need. They're showing some confidence coming off of that first win in ACC play, and you just want and hope that it just continues this afternoon for Coach Jebbia and her club. And
Megan Jebbia brings on the star of that performance against the Panthers, Katie Diebel, the Australian, who went a perfect 5 of 5 from 3. Augustinaita fakes the step back, flips to Morgan. Skip, Augustinaita can't let her get that open. Wake Forest catches the break. And it's hold your breath time when Rusna Augustinaita is that open in the corner. Diebel steps into a three, can't leave her open as well. It's slapped over the baseline, last off of Scruggs, Georgia Tech ball, but I don't think that was on the scouting report to give Katie Diebel that much cushion after her shooting performance versus Pitt.
No, she was 5 for 5 from behind the arc, so that's the one player that you need to locate fast and in a hurry when she's behind the arc.
The first Wake Forest player to make 5 or more threes without a miss in at least 14 years. Another offensive rebound. Morgan going to work, finds Augustinaita. She'll try from the other corner and cashes in.
And that's a good job by Tonie Morgan. She's being very intentional. We know she can dish the ball, and she has a high number of assists per game, but good look on the baseline, finds the open Rusna and the knockdown.
Tied at 9. Augustinaita is a freshman, 5th in the ACC and made threes per game. Harrison surveys, hits Williams behind the screen. Offline on the three. Tonight, like we said, reigning ACC Rookie of the Week, dishes to Dunn. Morgan puts it on the floor, slicing, hanging, and hitting.
And we know that's what she can do, too. I think sometimes for Tonie Morgan, finding the balance, she's having a good start for this game, trying to get her teammates involved and getting buckets when she knows she's able to.
She can be such a physical driver, and that's been an ongoing conversation between her and Nell Ford, and her understanding when to try to attack, when not to force, when to know you've done your work and drawn into defense. You can kick out and find an open shooter. Harrison off balance, able to finish over Noedo.
Ooh, she was looking for the foul because she almost spun out on that layup, but able to keep her body control to knock it down.
Micaiah Harrison, the grad student, I should say, from Baldwin, New York, had the game-winning bucket in Winston-Salem last year in a victory over Georgia Tech. As we come inside 2 minutes in our first quarter, back and forth, first 10 minutes. Noedo ropes it to Augusta Naita, the +1 to Morgan. Back tap and hauled in by Elise Williams. Makes the Yellow Jackets 1 of 7 from 3. Tough drive and a tougher finish by Williams, and Wake Forest back in front.
Yeah, that was a big-time finish by Williams. She saw she had the advantage and just decided to be aggressive and drive to the basket.
5 first quarter points for Elise Williams, who's now 43 points shy of 1,000 for his career. Morgan wants a screen, gets one from Blackshear. Pass was deflected, picked off by Diebel. In the foot race with Noedo. Goes behind the back with the scoop. It's off the mark. Body's crashing for it. And we will have a loose ball foul. It's staying on this end as they whistle it on Tonie Morgan.
Yeah, and that was just a mistake by Tonie Morgan. Got too much air on that pass to give Diebel an opportunity just to steal it. And now Wake has an opportunity to extend their lead.
It has not been the most proficient Wake Forest shooting team, but they've given themselves chances throughout ACC play by forcing empty trips, averaging 18.2 turnovers forced over their last 5 games. They hassled North Carolina into 24 turnovers with that backcourt.
Yeah, they're just aggressive, a feisty team defensively, and they find ways to cause their opponents to turn the basketball over. They just can't capitalize all the time. That time they do.
And the hook shot falls for Michaela Coles. Stretches the Wake lead to 4. Wake Forest 58% from the field in this opening quarter. Aviance Carter is in for the first time. Slings to Augusta Naita. Blackshear very skilled from the high post. Augusta Naita, no good from 3. Raced down by Blackshear.
And that's a great chase down by Blackshear because so far in this game, Wake has done a great job of limiting Georgia Tech to have separate second chance opportunities. But they've moved to this zone defense, which you would think they would rebound better in.
Carter has to let it fly. Almost banks it in as time expires in the first quarter. Georgia Tech 1 of 9 from 3 in that. Watch and follow their loved one's career from afar, maybe listening on ACC Network, but to see her in person has to be really special.
No, it is special, especially with the amount of time she's put in to come over to the United States and play basketball. To be away from your loved ones, that's tough.
Nifty curl cut and the finish off the glass for Rusna Augusta Naita. 15-13, Wake Forest in front. The Yellow Jackets shift to the zone.
And I think that's good. You know, Wake was taking advantage, but you got to go out at the shooters. But that time, good job by AC.
Alyssa Andrews overcooks the 3 as we take a look at once more. Suspended in midair, Rusna Augusta Naita. And she's got 5.
And I like to see it. Sometimes not always settling for that 3-point shot, but she has the capability to score in the paint.
Dunn at a tomahawk out of her hands, rolls over the baseline and last off at Dunn. Turnover Jackets.
Yeah, Dunn getting it started early for the Jackets, but with Wake Forest also playing that zone, you know, Tech's got to find and get creative to pass the ball in, especially around that mid-post area to see if they can get openings and get players a good look.
The 3rd turnover, now 4th against Georgia Tech. Andrews pitches in the corner. Conley's 3 good. Reagan Conley, 35% from 3 this year, stretches the Wake lead to 5 again.
Yeah, you cannot leave the shooters open, especially in that zone. And Conley very capable of knocking down a 3, and she does it on that last possession.
Dunn looking to answer, and she does. You don't need to tell North Carolina State about Kara Dunn's three-point shooting prowess. She went off for 7 in non-attempts in that narrow overtime loss last Sunday to the Wolfpack.
No, she was incredible in that game. And I like it, like I said before, it just shows her growth from a season ago as a freshman, now as a sophomore, how she's just improved her shooting tremendously for Tech.
Jacket sagged off Elise Williams, and she took advantage.
Yeah, Elise Williams, she is steady, and she's going to be consistent for Wake, and is able to knock down and get buckets when they need one.
She had 29 against Virginia Tech on January 4th. Another deflected pass, and Williams pries it free. Gets the steal, now leads the run out. Hits Cole, spin on the lane, threads the needle in the finish by Andrews.
And that was a nice dish, first of all by Williams into Coles, and then for the lay-in and the finish for Wake.
6-point Demon Deacon lead, but battling Wake Forest +8 in points off turnovers. 10 of their 22 points have come off Georgia Tech turnovers.
And that's something you probably don't see often from the Demon Deeks, is that they capitalize on the turnovers they create by scoring. They're doing it this afternoon.
Shot clock at 7. One out of Oz. Oh, what a vision, what a pass, and what a finish.
That was a great look. Nice cut by AC to the basket. Senior to senior on that one.
That was a backhand pass.
Yeah, it was.
In stride to Aviance Carter. Aviance Carter's career high in made field goals in her career was against Wake Forest back in February of 2022, and the Jackets forced the turnover. Augusta Naita maneuvers around the hedge, long on the 3. Rebound Andrews for Wake. Augusta Naita is a top heat check candidate for Georgia Tech. Just 1 of 5 for 3 so far. Williams draws into defense. Another corner 3. Conley off the mark that time, but cleaned up by Andrews. Debo pulls the trigger, buries the 3.
And when you allow Wake to get second chance opportunities, you can't leave Debo open like that. She's going to knock down that 3, probably 90%.
Career high 20 points and a perfect 5 of 5 from distance against Pitt. She missed all 5 of her field goal attempts, just 1 point when these teams met 3 weeks ago. Stretches the Wake Forest lead to 7. Dunn has a look. Airballs the 3. Georgia Tech is 2 of 12 from downtown.
And Georgia Tech staying in that zone.
Wake Forest trying to shoot them out of it. That was online. Cleared by Dunn.
That was online. Georgia Tech's very fortunate that rolled out.
One out of Oz, looking to unload. Carter picks up the dribble. Off to Johnson, the pump fake, the step in, and the pull-up doesn't fall.
Right now, Georgia Tech just settling for too many jump shots. They need to get more flow inside, more cuts like we saw from Kara Dunn earlier in the first quarter.
And their offense flattening out around the arc. And a chance for Wake Forest to build on this 7-point lead. Williams drives in deep, and it's an and 1 for Elise Williams.
That was a big-time take by Williams, and the junior being very aggressive for Wake Forest to start this one.
She is starting to get cooking, the junior from Raleigh. Around a pair of jackets. And the lead now 9 for Wake as we've hit timeout in Atlanta. Demon Deacons have upped the lead to 9. They come to Atlanta today fresh off their first ACC win of the season at Pittsburgh on Thursday behind 20 points and 5 threes from Katie Diebel. It snapped not only a 22-game losing streak in road ACC games dating back to January of 2022. It snapped a 17-game road losing streak overall, Fallon. You know, confidence is fickle, it's fragile, but sometimes all it takes is that one game, and you look like a brand new team.
Yeah, no, and you know, Coach Debbie has said it, like her team, she's been seeing the improvement. They've been working game by game, but what a reward to get a win, and a win that they needed, that they hadn't had in quite some time on the road. So very important, especially as you continue on to the road at Georgia Tech. See if you can pull off another one.
That free throw gives Elise Williams 10 as she subs out. Riley Turcoff takes her spot. Georgia Tech just 7 of 20 from the field, 35% in this first half, trying to squelch a 6-0 Wake Forest run. Now having to fend off some full court pressure. Another hand on the pass is pulled down by Noeto. But what has jammed up this Georgia Tech offense, particularly in this second quarter?
Yeah, it's really been the lack of ball movement or the lack of movement in the paint on the offensive end. And a great job that time by Kara Dunn cutting to the basket, and she's able to draw a foul. And Wake's just going to continue to stay in that zone unless you bring some contact to them to be aggressive to try and score in the paint. And that's what the Jackets have to do.
Georgia Tech has not given Wake Forest reason to stray from that zone, just 2 of 12 from 3. And when 60% of your field goal attempts have been from 3,
yeah,
you're not finding a lot of paint touches.
No, you got to attack the zone. You can't be stagnant and just settle for jump shots. You have to attack it.
Noeto will try her luck from long range. That's off the mark. Also, Wake Forest defensive rebounding well. A 10-point lead. It was a 4-point Wake edge at the quarter break. Harrison twirling through 2 defenders, can't finish. Rebound Noeto.
And that is important. You said it. Defensively, Wake is rebounding the basketball well, really limiting Georgia Tech's second chance opportunities.
Entry pass was Aaron. Diving to the floor. Turcoff, jump ball to call. And the possession arrow goes to Wake Forest.
When you see the hustle out there, you get the possessions, you get the calls, and right now Wake Forest is getting another opportunity to extend this lead right now at 10.
A 6th first half turnover against the Yellow Jackets. Ariadna Termes, the freshman from Spain, who did not play the other night versus Louisville, comes in. As Nell Fortner seeks a spark from her bench. Jacks were in control most of the night in Winston-Salem 3 Sundays ago. Scruggs off the mark from 3. Offensive rebound Andrews. Averaging better than 4 rebounds a game. She deflects it off Blackshear to preserve possession for Wake.
That's a good job by Andrews, being aggressive. 2 Georgia Tech players surrounding her, and she's able to get that rebound.
She had an ACC high 8 rebounds in that first matchup. Williams maneuvering around a couple of screens, and she drops it in.
And she's feeling it. She's feeling confident right now. We said that 23 points she had against Tech 3 weeks ago. She's trying to continue that point total.
Makes an 8-0 Wake Forest run. Deacons by a dozen with 3.5 to go first half. Morgan gets around her defender. Rolls it off. Cleans up the miss and will reset.
No shots at the rim. You got to finish them. We've seen a couple from Georgia Tech. Chippies that they just couldn't finish.
Now another foul off the ball. Looks like they'll tag Andrews bumping the cutter. It's actually on Turcoff. Her first, team second. Blackshear gets a breather for the first time. Freshman Deasia Thomas-Harris subs in.
And Georgia Tech, they got to figure something out. Wake's been on an 8-0 run in the last 3 or so minutes.
Morgan trying to dump it across the paint to Termes, who was picked off. Harrison with the theft. Every passing lane is becoming razor wire for this Demon Deacons defense. Williams, the step back 3. Oh, she is cooking now.
She's feeling it, and it's the serious face, because I think right now she's just in the zone and understands that she has the hot hand for the Demon Deeks right now.
That is 15 for Elise Williams. She came in averaging 11.5. Jackets without a point for the last 4.5 minutes. Morgan goes to the open side of the screen, fans out Dunn, and again heavy on the 3. Nothing dropping for the Yellow Jackets. Demon Deacons have their foot on the pedal. They feed the hot-handed Williams, who's lurking in the corner. She takes the touch on Augusta Naita. The entry instead to Scruggs. Rolling across the lane, bounces Andrews. A sidestep. The pull-up no good. Rebound yanked in by the Jackets. Georgia Tech trying to get something working in transition. Morgan hemmed in, feeds Augusta Naita. Augusta Naita off the mark. Jackets have missed their last 7 from the field. And as we close in on 90 seconds remaining second quarter, it is all Wake Forest.
And it's been some good looks, but just a lot of threes from the Jackets. And, you know, this is what happens. It happened against Louisville. They dig and get into these holes, and it's tough to dig yourself out of these deficits.
A deep three. That one from Turcoff doesn't fall. Morgan loads up the screen from Termes. Augusta Naita not deterred, finally cashes in.
Yeah, that was a needed shot. Big time three in the corner by Augusta Naita to knock it down.
One thing about Augusta Naita, few misses will not deter.
Oh no, she's gonna keep shooting.
8 first half points for the freshman. Inside of a minute in our first half. Wake Forest trying to shake off that 0-14 start to conference play and go on a win streak for the first time this year. Harrison got swatted. Rolling loose and last off of Wake Forest. Teams trade threes here for the last couple of possessions.
Yeah, you see it right here. Williams just steps back. Nice fake like she was about to set a screen and knocks down the three at the top. And then it's just a good pass in the corner to Augusta Naita. She's able to hit the corner three, a much needed basket for Georgia Tech. But, you know, what they've done is given Wake an opportunity to set up their defense. No pushing of the basketball to see if they can get some transition points. Tech doesn't average a lot of points in transition, but it would be a good opportunity for them to try and get some easy buckets or draw some fouls.
Yeah, you're right. They've been shut out in fast break points. Carter off to Morgan, curling to the foul line, raising up, knocking it down with the shot clock expiring.
And that's a big-time shot for Tonie Morgan. Hopefully that'll get her going in the second half.
Boy,
effective and just play basketball. There's no pressure.
And Sydney Johnson takes the inbound and gets us underway. Sydney Johnson, grad transfer from Boston University. And she crossed paths with Megan Jebbia back in their Patriot League days when Jebbia was the head coach of American. And a foul on the pull-up will send the Jackets to the line and Tonie Morgan.
And that was a good job. You know, Tonie Morgan being aggressive. We know she's a capable scorer, but, you know, that was a post move. She got positioning down low, made a move, and was able to draw the foul and go into the free throw line.
Tonie Morgan took over down the stretch to preserve that win for Tech against Wake. Had 13 of her team-high 22 points in the fourth quarter. She was sensational last Sunday at Reynolds. 23 points, 11 assists versus North Carolina State. She had some grown woman moves in that second half against the Wolfpack.
She did. She and Kira Dunn both. They both turned it up, and a big reason why Georgia Tech almost stole a win on the road against NC State.
Blackshear out defending Coles. You know, Blackshear was also quiet in that first half. She had 18 and 9 against Wake Forest in the first meeting as Tech forces the turnover.
And she's been working. You know, sometimes I think her teammates may miss her when she has positioning down low, but she has to continue to work because she's a big piece of this offense for the Jacket, and she's the only player that really gives them a post presence.
And Blackshear was scoreless in that first half. Snapped out of the air by Conley. Speeding down floor, misses with the left hand. I think she felt the footsteps from Noeto and Blackshear.
She did. She heard that, and great job of them getting back to cause that miss.
Dunn stuffed. Great post-up defense by Scruggs, and she clears it.
Man, Scruggs is strong. I mean, Dunn has the height advantage, but Scruggs just stood her ground and got that block.
The struggle is real there. Pull-up is short from Harrison, and she just smothered that. Jackets running the floor. Morgan splitting a pair and drawing a foul.
But Scruggs is tough, and the way she just grabbed Morgan to make sure she didn't even get that shot off was a good job. If you're going to foul somebody, you better foul and make sure they don't make the basket. But a good run out, and, you know, Tonie Morgan's just going to run, and she was aggressive and is able to draw a foul. And this is more of what we need to see, or I'm sure what Coach Fortner wants to see from Georgia Tech, running in transition and trying to get easy buckets.
And Yellow Jackets did not have a fast break point in that first half, and so often they convert their forced turnovers into runouts. As Tonie Morgan makes it 33-26. First Yellow Jacket guard with 6 double-doubles in the season since 2014.
That's crazy. But she's a capable rebounding guard. And the game against Louisville, I think she only had 1 rebound, which is uncharacteristic of Morgan, but she can rebound with the best of them.
Splits the trip. 33-26 Wake Forest. Conley feeds the post, tipped and stolen by Dunn. Dunn has Morgan leaking out and up with the left hand good. It has been all Tonie Morgan in the second half for Georgia Tech. She has had a 5-0 run by herself.
Well, I guess somebody woke this Jackets team up at halftime.
And Megan Jebbia wants to burn a timeout. Tonie Morgan came ready after halftime, the sophomore from Tallahassee. Off the steal by Dunn. And finding Morgan in the open floor. Deeks by 5. Time to bust the doors open. And the ACC tournament in Greensboro Coliseum coming up soon. Will Virginia Tech repeat as tournament champions? In a year that could see as many as 9 ACC teams make the NCAA tournament. A lot of resumes that can be polished in Greensboro. Out of the timeout, the misfire by Coles, the rebound by the Jackets.
Yeah, Virginia Tech is a great team, but I'm sure NC State's gonna have something to say about that since they broke their streak a season ago.
Blackshear twisting in the lane, leaves it on the rim. This has turned into a 10-0 Tech run from the end of the first half to the beginning of the second. Wake at one point led 33-18. They've missed all 3 of their field goal attempts, have turned it over twice in this third quarter.
Yeah, Georgia Tech has been very intentional defensively. Good basket. That was a needed basket by Williams.
Wouldn't surprise you who broke that drought. Give Elise Williams 17. Dunn for 3. Blackshear wrestling it away from 2 Demon Deacons. Fresh possession for Tech. Nueto with the pump fake, the step in, and she's fouled on the pull-up. That's Nueto, sophomore from Spain, will send Georgia Tech to the line once again.
And we see Williams just sizes Morgan up and just drives hard. Morgan stops on it, no help from Tech. Blackshear a little late, and she's able to get that lay-in, or just tries to avoid the contact, I guess.
Well, she wanted to force Williams left. It just shows how talented a floor game Elise Williams has.
Yeah.
She's had 3 20-point games this year, including the 23 versus Tech.
And they've been in ACC play, so that speaks wonders of the type of scoring she can put out.
She can fill up the stat sheet. Had 14, 10 rebounds, 7 assists versus Boston College. That's Demon Deacon with that kind of stat line. Oh, they'll call the offensive foul before the bucket by Williams. A charge called on Conley.
And that was a big-time play by Nueto. A huge chance because she had no help on the pass. Williams was going to be wide open for that lay-in, and she just stands her ground, takes the charge, and gets the turnover.
He was the chief charge taker for the Yellow Jackets, but just to finish that point, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists for Williams against Boston College. Last Demon Deacon who had that stat line. How about De'Erica Hamby? Wow. For the Demon Deacons.
Yeah, that's a throwback. She's good. She's a great player.
Oh, yeah. Foul was on Diebel. And it was in the act. Georgia Tech continuing to rack up free throw trips in the second half. They only had 2 free throw attempts in the first half. This will be their 7th of the third quarter alone, though it's off the mark by Blackshear.
But it's good to see Blackshear active in the second half. We said Georgia Tech needed a post presence, and she's doing that. You don't see it in the scoring column yet, but she's being aggressive and starting to get more touches.
1 of 2 trip for Blackshear. Harrison comes in. She replaces Conley. Full court pressure shown by Georgia Tech. Looped into traffic, pulled away. Now Williams, oh, the sidestep and the scoop. Put that on the highlight reel.
Woo-hoo. Hey, Williams is coming out full arsenal this afternoon with some of these moves.
I don't know if that was the full Euro, but it was pretty. Three by Dunn. Horseshoes out. Could have made it a one-possession game. Instead, the Deeks the rebound and the 6-point lead with less than 6 to play in the third. Off the back on Diebel with the lay-in and the feed from Scruggs.
And Scruggs just does it in so many areas defensively, but making the pass. You may not see it in the scoring column, but she does so much for this Demon Deacons team.
That is a wily veteran. The lob, Blackshear, she draws the double. Grinding away on Scruggs, too much strength, Kayla Blackshear.
And that was a good job. I mean, she turned the opposite way. I was hoping that she would turn to her right because it was wide open in that lane, but Blackshear found the space and she needed to get that layup.
Scruggs pounded across the timeline. Off to Williams. 39-33 Wake. Entry pass thrown away. Turnover. Morgan pushing. Morgan crossing. Kicking Johnson. Three-pointer. Good.
And that's big for the grad transfer from BU. That's a big shot. Georgia Tech needed that one.
It hasn't been the type of year statistically that I'm sure Sydney Johnson wanted in her grad transfer year from Boston University. But she was a career 40% three-point shooter for the Terriers. Megan Jebby knew all about that when those two dueled in the Patriot League. 39-36.
And we've talked about it ever since she's been placed into the starting lineup. It's changed the dynamic for Dunn and Morgan just to be more focused on scoring and not necessarily always having to worry about getting their teammates involved.
Williams heavy on the three. Noedo tight ropes and wins the tip. Tonie Morgan having to do it on both ends, defending Williams, now initiating the offense. Taking it downhill, cuffing it, and scoring.
Now that was a big-time play by the sophomore. We say it every time. You know, she can just amaze with some of the moves she can make with her athleticism. But that drive, whew, it's nice.
A 7-0 Georgia Tech run. And that 10-point halftime deficit has been whittled to 1. Senior Day crowd waking up at McCamish. Williams sizing up Noedo. Dribbles into traffic, gets called for the travel. They were just staying home and collapsing on Williams. And things started to unspool for Wake Forest. Williams trying to lead the way. She's got 19, including some nifty footwork there, but Morgan with the answer on the other end. 39-38 Deeks. 7-0 run here to close to 1, Fallon.
Yeah, no, they've turned it on in this second half to start this third quarter. And you've seen the scoring from Tonie Morgan and others, but she has been the catalyst and the leader for this squad to get it going.
How about that last bucket by Tonie Morgan?
Yeah, that was nasty. I mean, splitting 3 Wake defenders and then having a wide open lane to the basket.
A little Malaysia Fulwiley vibes there with that backhand flip, the South Carolina freshman. And where things have turned in this third quarter is in turnovers. Wake protected the ball really well in that first half. Almost as many turnovers in the third as they had all of the first half. Georgia Tech has cut down on its turnover total. Yeah,
and that's what Georgia Tech needed to do, take care of the basketball. This Wake team is a feisty team, and they like to create turnovers. And they capitalized on those turnovers in the first half. In the second, it's been a different story.
The spin, the hang, and the foul as Dunn took it up strong.
Demon Deacons foul charge to number 11, Reagan Conley, her second.
Well, right now you see Georgia Tech's big three of Dunn, Blackshear, and Morgan asserting themselves.
They are, and that's what was needed in the first half for Georgia Tech. You know, Dunn was getting it going for the most part, and she's continuing to be aggressive. Was able to draw that foul.
Knew she had her defender leveraged. Cashes in the first. Georgia Tech's last lead. Actually, they was at 11-9 in the first quarter. We'll have to wait. And that breaks a streak, Fallon, of 21 consecutive made free throws from Kara Dunn.
Yeah, she was killing it from the free throw line.
Notice I said that after she missed.
Yeah, you did. You didn't jinx it beforehand.
Nobody's putting that on my tab. 3 minutes to go, third quarter. Diebel and a punch loose. Katie Diebel coming off a 5-for-5 performance from 3 in the win versus Pittsburgh. Downhill on the baseline and the finish by Conley.
And that was an aggressive move. We haven't really seen many be aggressive driving to the basket besides Williams for Wake. But Conley getting it going with that layup.
Really impressive junior from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Dunn gets the blow by. Pitches across. Great ball rotation. Can they cash out with the three? Noeto, no, but there's Blackshear for the board.
Tech has been more aggressive on their offensive rebound and getting second chance opportunities.
Oh, and Augusta Nita drills the three. Little three goggles for the freshman. And Tech takes the lead.
She's going to put it up and let the crowd know that's a three-pointer for me, baby.
That's more like the three monocle, only had one hand up. 42-41. Jackets have made 4 of their last 5. Conley off glass, no. Jackets surround the rebound, but they can't pull it down. And Wake Forest gets a possession on the house.
And that was good defense by Kira Dunn to alter that shot by Conley. And we've talked about it since Coach Fortner has changed the lineup in the rotation and putting Dunn at the 4. She's had some difficult matchups defensively, but she's doing a solid job this afternoon.
Jackets have outscored the Deacs 19-8 in this third quarter. Sent around to Williams. Noeto, the matchup on her. Crossover. Steps back. On the rim. Can't fall. Rebound to Augusta Nita.
And that was good defense by Noeto. We don't say it enough, but she is one of the top defenders for this Georgia Tech team. Has tough assignments and having to regard really good guards.
Morgan in deep and a foul call.
And Tonie Morgan, she's feeling it now. She's about to get into her razzle-dazzle, get into the lane and get into the basket. And we know she's capable of doing it. When she takes charge and is aggressive, she's going straight to the hoop. And there's no one that's going to stop her from getting there.
Now, from this angle, it seemed like pretty good defense by Diebel and Megan Jebby in front of us having a conversation about, you know, where was that whistle on our end?
Yeah.
43-41, Georgia Tech. 7 of 10 from the foul line in the third quarter. Deacs have yet to attempt a free throw after halftime. And now it's a 3-point Georgia Tech lead. What can the Demon Deacons do to reclaim some momentum after they shot 52% in the first half, Alan?
Well, I just think it's being aggressive, going back to what was working, and they were attacking the basket themselves in the first half.
Harrison muscling it up and scoring. Morgan wanted to travel, but that was a tough finish by Kaya Harrison.
It was, and Morgan had the size advantage, but Harrison was just aggressive, able to finish in the paint.
Harrison's been on a heater here. 14 points, 2 of her last 3 games. The quick hand, she forces the jump ball on Augusta Nita, and the arrow gives it to Wake.
And Augusta Nita looked like she got confused, but you don't want to have your back towards the defender. Georgia Tech plays that handoff, but you see Harrison with this move one-on-one against Morgan, and that's a nasty move in the paint. With a nice finish.
Boy, she's jumping in the line with the post players.
She is.
5'7".
She is. She's putting in some work.
Down to shoot to Scruggs. She's ISO'd on Blackshear. Conley out to Scruggs. Across the lane with the left. It's no good. Took a bump along the way by Blackshear.
She did.
But we play on.
She did. And Coach Jebbia was not happy about that one. Like you said, she's looking for some fouls for her team as well.
Noeto probing, pulling up, got blocked, foul called. And the disbelief is painted on the face of the Demon Deacons as they call Conley for that. It's a third on Reagan Conley.
And right now, Georgia Tech has the momentum. I mean, they have the lead and the momentum, and they've turned things around completely in this third quarter. A different team from what we saw in the first half.
And there's an 8th foul against Wake Forest in this third quarter. But, again, you have to credit Georgia Tech for being the aggressors. We're seeing them much more deliberate, like you would say at halftime, of getting at paint touches, driving deep, right, being aggressive. Lead is 3, final minute of the third quarter. Remember, it was once 33-18 Wake.
Yeah, Wake had a 15-point lead in that first half, and it was looking very grim for Georgia Tech.
Williams on Noeto. Goes to work on Blackshear, foul call.
And that was a good aggressive move by Williams. You know, she's a little quiet in this third compared to what we saw in that first half, but going back to the free throw line, hopefully this will get her going because this is going to be a tight fourth quarter.
First foul on Blackshear. Williams bidding for her 4th 20-point game of ACC play, and she now has it.
Must be something about Georgia Tech.
Yeah, because 2 of those 4 have come against the Yellow Jackets. Dances around the iron and down. It's a 1-point game.
Number 0, Elise Williams.
Another nip and tuck matchup between the Jackets and Deeks, like they had 3 Sundays ago in Winston-Salem. Shot clock is off. Morgan measures up Harrison. 7, 6, stop and go. Scoop with the left, rims off. Harrison out of the pack with it with 1. From behind half court, it's short. And we head to the 4th quarter, but Georgia Tech in that 3rd erased a 10-point deficit. And behind it.
See how hard they compete, beat up on each other, and at the end of the day, you'll see at least 8 or 9 teams in the tournament.
Yeah, this has been the toughest conference, bar none, in the country. Tough finish there by Kara Dunn. Stretches the Tech lead to 3. Jackets outscored the Demon Deacons 23-12 in the 3rd. How can the Demon Deacons respond? Yeah, but they controlled the game in the first half. Scruggs surveying. Flips to Conley. Can't turn the corner on Augusta Naita. Shot clock at 5. Wriggling around. Blackshear in the finish there by Scruggs.
And that was a good move by Scruggs. She had the positioning, got that little hip check to spin off of, and was able to finish.
Her ACC season high was against Georgia Tech last year. Opening minute of our 4th quarter. Dunn spinning middle. Oh, how did she get that to fall?
How did she even get that shot off? It looked like it was a block, and she still got it off with the finish. Big time play by Kara Dunn.
Art of improvisation by the sophomore Kara Dunn. Diebel escorted baseline, gets it away to Harrison, has a clean look. No good from 3 though. Rebound Blackshear. Whipped around to Dunn. Blackshear turning, got blocked.
Yeah,
Scruggs with the quick hands.
Good job by Scruggs. I mean, Blackshear just turned straight into her, made that easy for her to block that shot.
And the Demon Deacons had not made it easy on Kara Dunn in those post touches. Scruggs for 3, and we are tied.
I mean, she does it from everywhere. We talked about it. She can dish it, she can shoot it, and what an impressive defender she is for the Demon Deeps.
Alexandra Scruggs before that was 2 of 14 from 3 in ACC play from deep. The misfire by Morgan, cleaned out by the Jackets though.
You see Morgan struggling a bit, took a hard fall.
Augusta Naita, good and 1. Taking a page out of Tonie Morgan's playbook with that tough runner.
Hey, I like it. You know, something different from seeing that 3-point shot, but it just shows what she has in her arsenal. She's a capable scorer, and as she continues to grow as a player, you're going to see more of this. She's aggressive. She can drive to the basket, and she can score it with the best of them, and has the athletic ability to finish at the rim.
And of course, you make a bucket like that, one of your teammates has to give the flex on the sideline. As Augusta Naita, the reigning ACC Rookie of the Week, has 13. Give her 14. Senior Aisha Won Adanaz gives Blackshear a breather. Performing on her senior day with her family from Pamplona, Spain in attendance. This is Georgia Tech's largest lead of the night, believe it or not. Williams on the dribble drive, gets in deep and scores. 2 more for Williams.
And that was just too easy. You got to get back. You know Williams is going to try and drive it and score. She's not trying to sit back and just shoot 3s. She'll be aggressive driving to the bucket.
23 for Elise Williams. Augusta Naita is not shy. Batted around. And that was last tipped by Nueto. Oh, Carla Fountain whistling Demon Deacon ball. See if Billy Smith has a different view of it. And they reverse the call. Georgia Tech ball.
Yeah, it was close. These teams were battling. Harrison and Oredo.
Oh, yeah, that was on the Harrison.
Harrison hits it last. Ooh, it was close.
It was close.
Looked like Harrison touched that one.
I think what is agitating Megan Gebbia right now is that Carla Fountain was right in front of the play. And then Billy Smith came over from the opposite sideline. And so the call was reversed from the official who had the nearest vantage point of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Georgia Tech wins the 50-50 ball and back to work, leading by 1. Dunn posted at the elbow. Got stopped on the step back. That was erased by Coles.
Yeah, that was a nice job by Coles. Dunn thought she had a wide open jump shot, and Coles said, no, not today.
Oh, but the Demon Deacons throw it away. Backcourt violation. Turnovers continuing to mount in the second half for Coach Gebbia's side. This is a Wake Forest team starting 0-14 in the ACC that could have easily folded the test. They are playing with a lot of fire. Couple of bounces it off. Dunn, the rebound. In deep, regains the dribble, misses. Coles pulls it away. Oh, Dunn takes it away. She has it stripped. And we have a foul called on Dunn.
And she can't believe it, but it was very physical in the paint. And you even saw Dunn took some hits. Refs were just letting them play.
Look how many changes in possession we had.
This is crazy.
Just in this sequence. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3.
Hey, but applaud Harrison getting those hands in there.
Wake Forest possession, trailing by 1. Demon Deacons have tightened up. They have forced the Yellow Jackets into missing 7 of their last 8.
Yeah, we said this fourth quarter was going to be a tight one. And, you know, Wake had the advantage in the first half. Georgia Tech came back and was able to get the lead in the third quarter. But this is coming down to the wire.
Williams closed out well by Noeto. Diebel has to retreat. Shot clock at 7. Crossing by Augusta Naita, and Wake Forest the lead.
And that was a good move to the basket by Daybell. But Augusta Naita, I don't know. She let her have it. I think she was thinking she had some help defense down there.
They opened the gate there, trying to defend the dribble drive and an illegal screen on Juan Adanaz. All back to Wake Forest with 5:30 to go.
Yeah, that was a no-no, Juan Adanaz move. But you see Diebel right here. Woo, nice little cross-up.
That's putting your defender on skates.
She did, and Augusta Naita was lost on that one. And she gets the easy lay-in. See on this handoff. Yeah, you can't do that. That shoulder lean.
Yeah, ooh. Young Dro would appreciate it, but the officials do not with that shoulder lean. Can you tell I've been in Atlanta for a while?
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
That's a classic right there. You got to shout out Young Dro.
The Demon Deacons have steadied themselves after surrendering a 10-point halftime lead. Harrison probing, out to Scruggs for a second 3 of the quarter.
Hey, she's been the difference maker in this game. We can talk about Williams all day with her scoring, but if it hasn't been for Scruggs' ability on the defensive end and 2 big threes in this fourth.
Boy, the salty vet who had 2 ACC threes all season has 2 in the quarter, and Morgan throws it away. Sailed up behind Augusta Naita, and it takes us to timeout, but what a response by Wake Forest. Demon Deacons on a 7-0 run, and now back up 4. And it comes from the most seasoned player in Wake Forest history. The grad student Alexandra Scruggs, then knocked out the grad student from Fayetteville, North Carolina, getting it done outside and in, Fallon.
No, she is, and I say she's the difference maker in this game. Those 2 threes she's hit in the fourth quarter have spoke volumes for this Demon Deacons team, and a big reason they have this 4-point lead in the fourth.
Look at that, she came in today having made 2 threes all of ACC play. She's probably telling us, just because I have it doesn't mean I can't.
Right.
2 of 3 today, and both of those threes have come in the fourth.
Yeah, no, and come in situations where it was needed, when they needed a bucket, and they've been so reliant on Williams this afternoon, but shoot, Scruggs has stepped up big time for the Deeks.
Georgia Tech shifts to the zone out of the timeout. To 7-0 Wake Forest run. Scruggs, by the way, the niece of former 11-year NBA veteran John Bagley, who finished his career in Atlanta with the Hawks. And Megan Jebbia sees her team maroon. She calls time. Shot clock at 13. Coles was trapped in the corner.
And that's a good timeout. You don't want to lose that possession, especially when their team is starting to have some momentum in this fourth.
Now Georgia Tech, not as crisp a fourth quarter that Nell Fortner saw in the third, but kind of regained their bearings.
Yeah, they have to. And this is a game that has major ramifications for them. Right now they stand 6-10 in conference play. And you know, they have this game and one more game in a week. They'll have some time off, so I'm sure Coach Fortner is stressing that. Like, you know, play to the end, and you'll have a week, and we can regroup and before we go on the road against Miami next Sunday.
Yeah, got to empty the tank here. 4:34 remaining. Forest trying to go from an 0-14 start in conference play to a 2-game win streak, in both games coming on the road. That win versus Pittsburgh Thursday snapped a 22-game ACC road losing streak. Shot clock at 6. The blow by Johnson. Double clutch and a foul. Rejected the screen and went downhill.
And that was a good job by Harrison. Like you said, she rejected the screen, went baseline, found an opening, and was able to make contact to draw that foul. She's been aggressive all afternoon, and it's a heads-up play. Gets Tonie Morgan off her toes and just drives hard to get the foul.
Harrison 6th in the ACC in free throw percentage at 83%, makes it a 5-point Wake lead. She is the second most career games played in Wake Forest history, behind her teammate Alexandra Scruggs. But it just makes you think. Olivia Samil, Jewel Spear, now transferred. Wake, a 17-win team a year ago, would have had all 5 starters returning.
And it would have been a second year in Coach Jebbia's system.
Yeah.
You know, she talked about that last season, of just trying to implement her system, and it was going to take a solid year for her team to get it. But when you have players transferred, you have to regroup.
Blackshear turns the corner, lays it in. Some miscommunication on that coverage against the Demon Deacons. Gives Blackshear 5.
Right now, Georgia Tech going back into that 2-3 zone.
Williams launches and hits.
That's big time. That's big time. I mean, they had Diebel in the corner wide open, but Williams is like, I got this. I'm going to knock it down.
That's a third 3 of the game for Elise Williams, up to 26. Morgan slicing across, had it stripped. Williams out of the pack with it. Blackshear in pursuit. Drops it across. Layup Coles.
But that can't happen. Blackshear was the only one getting back. No one else for Georgia Tech. And Wake Forest able to get an easy lay-in after the turnover by Georgia Tech.
Tech on a 4th assist. And it's a 9-point lead just like that for the Demon Deacons.
Super confident. Williams has been confident all afternoon long, and I said I hadn't seen her crack a smile yet. It's just been serious. We're here to do business, and that's exactly what Wake Forest is doing this afternoon.
Demon Deacons fired up. Probably didn't need that plane to feel like they were in the clouds after that win versus Pittsburgh. Confidence can be fickle, but it can be really contagious.
It can, and especially at this point of the season. You know, when you talk about it, you know, it's not major seeding that the Deeks are playing for conference play or come tournament time, an ACC tournament or even the NCAA tournament. But this is a builder to build momentum with this group to see what you have going into next season. And who knows, maybe the NIT might come knocking some type of postseason tournament for them. But you have to build on momentum after you get a win, and you see that it's self-evident this afternoon with Wake Forest.
The Demon Deacons right now found it kind of got lost when Georgia Tech was making its comeback in the third quarter. But Wake is still shooting 55% for the game, 26 of 47.
Yeah, no, they're shooting the ball extremely well this afternoon. And, you know, this is a team that only averages around 59 points a game. Right now at 64 with a little over 3 minutes to go. And they just shot it well. I mean, it's been specific players, but I think when each player's had that opportunity, they've knocked down shots as well. And in order to lose the lead like they did in the third quarter and to be tough and show the tenacity to regain it in the fourth.
After things were threatening to slip away, Wake Forest 7 of 8 shooting in this fourth quarter. Georgia Tech just 4 of 11. Jack is trying to put the brakes on a 14-2 Wake Forest run. Down by 9, but just 3:24 to go.
Yeah, and if you talk about the story for Georgia Tech all season long, it's these droughts, scoring droughts. They can't have them, and it's been a key situations, especially in the fourth quarter.
Georgia Tech a little disorganized around the arc. Tech just 5 3-pointers in 23 attempts today. Blackshear the spin and the kick. Noeto with a hand in her face, rattles it down. And that's a way to start.
Yeah, that's a big shot by Noeto.
Her first made 3 of the night. Georgia Tech chasing in full court. Close to getting a steal. Harrison across and beats the 10 count. Deeks have made their last 6 shots. Inside of 3 to go.
And Deeble's wide open. They just don't see her.
Here she is. Short, rebound Dunn.
That was heads-up rotation by Noeto because it looked like she was going to have a wide-open look.
That could have been a Deeble dagger. Instead, a 6-point Georgia Tech deficit. Blackshear hands Noeto. Dishes out. Morgan will launch from 3. Long and out of bounds to Wake Forest.
Yeah, and that was a tough shot, especially after the 3 Noeto hit.
That was a good closeout, though.
Yeah.
To force the contest. Wake Forest did a good job negotiating Wake Forest full court pressure. Williams will wheel out. Oh, got bumped off the ball and throws it away. 3-on-2 Georgia Tech. Morgan. Great job by the Demon Deacons to hurry back. Oh, and a pass stolen right out of the air by Williams.
Ooh, that was big time. I mean, Williams, I don't think she knows at this moment how big that play was, but she just saved a wide open look for Blackshear at the basket.
She was wide open and just read the eyes of Tonie Morgan. What has Elise Williams not done tonight? 90 seconds to go. Williams in deep on Noeto and a foul called.
And that's a tough play. Williams gets the turnover, gets the steal on the other end, and then has the energy to drive and draw the foul at the basket. And you can show she's the leader for this team, leading scorer. But right there, like you said, Morgan televised that pass. Blackshear was wide open in the paint, and if it wasn't for that defense, that would have been a wide open layup for Georgia Tech. And then Williams just comes back on the offensive end and just drives it. Noreto's aggressive and gets the foul.
Well, she is really strong going to her left. 26 points and counting for the junior. Remember, she had 29 at the beginning of the new year versus Virginia Tech. Free throws have not been plentiful for Wake, but they've been accurate. Now 6 of 6 as a team. And it's a 7-point Wake lead. Make it 8. 1:28 to go. Demon Deacons become some late season road warriors. Tough pass. Johnson sticks the 3.
And that's huge. Right in Williams' eyes. She was right there defending it. Just better offense.
Second 3 for Sydney Johnson. Williams gets ahead of steam. Breaks the pressure. Less than a minute to go. Georgia Tech trying to trap. It's a 5-point game. Georgia Tech with 4 fouls. There's a 5th, and it'll send Deeble to the line. No, timeout Wake Forest. So interesting, how do you play this here if you're Nell Ford or you're down by 5? Wake Forest can bring this down to about 38, 39 seconds here. Do you start to foul and send Wake Forest to the line in hopes of stretching out the game, or do you play this possession straight up?
I think you play this possession straight up. See what happens. I mean, it's still enough time, especially if you get this shot clock down to about, like you said, around 38 seconds. You got to play this one out. If they are not able to capitalize, if Wake doesn't get a score, then they have to start fouling.
Tech substitution number 22, Ines Noeto.
Noeto is back in for Georgia Tech. Nobody in foul trouble for either side. Possession arrow also favors Wake.
Yeah, this game is going down to the wire.
They trap out on Harrison. Able to slip it free to Scruggs. Whipped around. Oh, nearly thrown away. And now there's a foul against Andrews. A 72% free throw shooter. She'll have a pair.
Well, if you're going to foul anybody, I would say, even though Andrews shoots at a solid percentage, foul somebody that hadn't been to the line all day today. and she hasn't. So these are going to be some critical free throws. A lot of pressure on her to knock these down.
Andrews has had limited attempts this year, 13 of 18. The Wake Forest team that has had a lot of scar tissue, 5 and 22, but they have faced the 4th toughest schedule in the nation by average net ranking. Andrews off on the first, good on the second. Still a 2-possession game. Morgan gets a running start on Diebel. Exchange with Augusta Naita. Well, Augusta Naita having to run it down, flings it over her head right to Blackshear. Noeto penetrates and pinches. A 3 by Morgan. No good. Rebound loose and pulled away by the Demon Deacons. Williams tripped and a foul call.
Yeah, that was good defense. You can see Georgia Tech almost turned it over. A good save by Augusta Naita to Blackshear, but Wake played solid defense on that possession, not giving Georgia Tech an open look behind the arc.
It just turned into a scramble drill, but you see the great dig and recovery in the corner on Morgan.
And you give it to the person you want shooting it, and Tonie Morgan from behind the arc, who doesn't shoot it at a high percentage. It just shows that Demon Deacons defense, it was clicking on all cylinders on that possession.
Speaking of firing on all cylinders today.
Williams.
Next point will be a 30-piece for Elise Williams.
Hey, this isn't good. That's 2 30-piece or 30 pieces for the opponents for Georgia Tech in the last 2 games, but she doesn't knock it down.
Spills off, rebound Tech, and a timeout. 68-61, 26.4 seconds remaining. Elise Williams, though, matches her total versus Virginia Tech from earlier this season with 29. This following 23 against the Yellow Jackets earlier this month.
Yeah, I know. She is shooting at a very high percentage and scoring a lot of points against the Jackets, but you have to applaud her. She has been clicking on all cylinders for this entire game, and, you know, gave Wake a scoring presence in the first half when they didn't have other players really stepping up yet.
And it's been an efficient 29. Only needed 15 field goal attempts to do it.
Yeah, and she hasn't forced a lot of threes or shots. I mean, she's been driving to the basket and getting to the rim, you know, getting it the old way with 2-point baskets.
Georgia Tech advances the ball into the forecourt. At the Wake Forest bench, hollering no threes. Augusta Naita gets Diebel airborne, fires away, airballs it, saved over the baseline. Dunn steps back and rains one down. 68-64, 18.6 to go. Timeout, Wake Forest.
That was a heads-up play by Kara Dunn, getting her feet set and letting that thing fly. And you see right here, good hustle by Tonie Morgan to save it. And then Kara Dunn just has the smarts to take the step back behind the 3-point line to make it count.
That was a game-saving hustle play from Tonie Morgan.
That was.
To bring it down to a 4-point game. Gives Dunn 17 to lead the way for Georgia Tech.
And this is critical. Georgia Tech definitely, they're going to come out and foul pretty quickly to try and not run a lot of time off the clock. They have to be intentional once they get it back. They need to score quickly because time is running out.
How about Wake Forest, Fallon, in this 4th quarter? And Tech led by 1 going into the 4th. Largest lead was 46-43, 2.5 minutes into the 4th, but Wake has been stuck on automatic. 7 of 9 from the field in the 4th quarter.
That's an impressive number, and that's how you want, as a coach, you want your team to close out games. Hasn't been as impressive for Georgia Tech in the 4th quarter, but, you know, Wake Forest has been intentional, still riding on that high from the road win they had Thursday night against Pitt. And they're just continuing the trend this afternoon against Georgia Tech on the road.
The Demon Deacons have made their free throws. They were just 55% at the line versus Pitt, but today, 9 of 11. Inbound comes to Diebel. She'll park herself in the corner and pick up a foul from Augusta Naita.
And I'm sure Coach Jebby is happy about that because they're fouling the players that she wants on the free throw. Well, maybe not. Yeah, that's the one you want.
Now, the way Katie Diebel's been seeing it lately, 64% from the field her last 4 games. See if that carries over to the nail. A redshirt freshman from Brisbane, Australia. Good on the first. Georgia Amore, Georgia Willie, not the only Aussies serving up buckets in the ACC this year. Second one, rims no. And timeout, 15.7 seconds left. Georgia Tech will get an opportunity to advance. Well, that door still a little ajar. As Nell Fordner and her top assistant Blanche Alverson go to the whiteboard.
Yeah, it's still a good time for Georgia Tech to make something happen, you know, especially if they're going to send this game to overtime. But they're going to have to do it quickly, find a quick shot, a good three, and if they don't knock it down, hustle for that offensive rebound.
So you're going three-pointer on this possession no matter what?
If you can get a quick two, you go with what the defense gives you. And that might be what Wake does, so they don't settle for a three. But I just know these shooters for Georgia Tech, I think they might be gunning for that three first. And if they don't get it, crash hard for the offensive rebound and try and get a quick putback.
Also something to consider, Wake has a foul to give.
Yeah.
Guido finds Morgan, but has to catch out near midcourt. A deep three, Augusta Naita off the backboard, loose, pulled away by Williams. And with 8 seconds to go, she is fouled, and that may do it.
Tech foul charge number 22.
Yeah, that was tough. That was a deep three for Augusta Naita, and you see it was a set play. They gave it to the shooter they wanted to give it to. She just could knock down that three.
And Augusta Naita has that old Olive Garden range unlimited. Like the salad and breadsticks, but just 3 of 12 from 3. So now Williams has a chance for 30 at the line. And there it is.
Yeah, what an afternoon she's had. Just a big time for Wake, putting them in a position to get this road victory if they can close it out.
He was tremendous in the first half and willing her team to a second straight road victory. 71-64 timeout Georgia Tech, and you have to tip your cap to this Wake Forest team. It had been a laborious winter for this team that had last won December 21st versus Marshall prior to their victory at Pittsburgh, picking up some late season momentum. And you know, they may leave McCambus Pavilion into the rest of the season into Greensboro, and you can't tell them they're 2-14 in the ACC by the confidence level that they will carry into the month of March.
No, and that's important. You know, you never know what can happen in tournament time. We've seen, you know, teams who've struggled during the season or conference play and then turn it up in the tournament. So this is great momentum for Wake Forest that they can carry over into March.
Done no good. Morgan off the window and down. 1.9 seconds left. But a 5-point Wake Forest lead. They'll heave the inbound and head out with the win. Wake Forest back to back. And Megan Jebbia's team